Welcome everybody to the Healthy Habit Podcast, episode 268. We're live here with Laurel Sterling. Not technically live, we're doing a pre-recording, but it just feels good to say that, That's back in the radio days. We used to be actually live on the air, 1100 AM, KFNX. Shout out to 1100. I'm your host of the podcast here, Dr. Dejan Matijevic of Healthy Habit Medical Center. And today we're talking with Laurel Sterling. Last time she was on the show, last time we aired the episode was episode 200, back in July of 2025. Laurel's a registered dietitian-nutritionist, certified nutritionist, and national educator for Carlson Labs. And she's worked in the natural products industry since 2000. Almost 30 years, folks. You better pay attention. Over the years, Laurel's counseled hundreds of individuals, lectured at various corporations and events, written numerous articles and blogs, and can be heard on radio shows and podcasts just like this one. She has a genuine passion for educating, informing, and empowering the public through nutrition, education, and today we're diving into all things eye health, ocular health. Welcome back, Laurel.
Thank you. Gosh, when you said 30 years almost, I went, oh my gosh.
Puts it in perspective,
Yeah,
right?
it really
Yeah.
does. It
So,
really
and
does.
you've been with Carlson the whole time, is that
For
correct?
10 years,
For
for
10
10
years, got
years.
it. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, there you go. That says a lot about Carlson Labs. Maybe give a little intro on the company itself. If you make it
sure.
10 years with one company, that's usually a pretty good sign
Yeah.
of the success of the company, retention of employees, and all that. So tell us a little bit about Carlson Labs for someone that's brand new to the podcast here. They've never heard of Carlson potentially.
Sure. Sure. So Carlson has been around for 61 years this year. We just hit our 60th last year and family owned still. So it went from Susan Carlson to now the past 15 years, her two daughters, and now it's going on to the third generation of Carrie Lynn Anderson's three kids that are working at the facility. So we're really proud of that and proud that we can still say that. And we started with the natural vitamin E product and
Mm.
kind of went through into fish oils in the early 80s and since have exploded to 300 plus different products out there. So it's
300?
300 or more, yeah, different products. So
Wow.
there's a lot that we have.
You
Yeah.
said it started with vitamin E?
Vitamin E, it was a
That's
natural vitamin
interesting.
E chewable, I
Just
guess.
vitamin E, straight up.
Straight
Wow.
up vitamin
Yeah.
E.
Maybe
Yeah.
because of that time there was a lot of focus on cardiovascular health, or what are your thoughts? Why vitamin E?
Yeah,
That's
well,
interesting.
definitely. Well, actually, in particular, in this case, it started was because Susan's father had some angina, and he had a few stores that were kind of like drugstores, and he was not able to continue his fast pace that he would keep up, and so they looked into it, and he wasn't getting results from the traditional doctors, and so they went to a clinic in Canada, the Shoot Clinic, and they he was put on 800 IUs of vitamin E succinate
Uh-huh.
and felt great, felt better, and that's kind of how the whole company started because he actually ran out and got more and then found that his heart issues were coming back. And so he called the clinic and they said, oh, well, it's not a natural one, it's a synthetic. So then he said to Susan, who was a pharmacist working in his store at the time, hey, we need to start educating people on this. So that's kind of how they
Interesting.
got into it. Hmm.
Interesting. Well, thanks for that background intro. Now we're all caught up.
Sure.
Carlson Labs. And you said they started when? The company?
61 years ago.
61 years ago. That's
Yes.
amazing. Here we are, still going strong. 300 plus products available,
Yeah.
and people
Family.
in the game with them for 10 plus years here, like
Yeah.
Laurel. So thanks for joining us here, episode 268. Let's dive into the topic of today, which is
Yeah.
eye vitamins. We're going to
All
be
things
covering
eyes.
eye health, and we'll look at the family of products available through carlsonlabs.com, the eye health collection. But why did you want to highlight this today? I don't think you and I have discussed eye health specifically when we've had you on previous shows, or maybe
No.
one product came up but never dedicated to just eye health. So why'd you want to highlight that today? And where do you want to start us
Honestly,
off with?
well, a few different reasons I wanted to talk about eye health. One, back in COVID times that we don't like to talk about, but it forced a lot of kids and adults more so onto screen time and Zooming, which is what we do predominantly, even my job. And I found for myself that, once I hit that 50 mark, I unfortunately had to start wearing reader glasses, but then it got worse, I found. And so it's something that I've been writing about and I've been thinking a lot about more because it's so important that we don't think about it that much, and we're think about how many times you are on your phone or kids are on their phone or they're looking at the screen, or this time of year with the sunlight, with the UV and the blue light, it's coming everywhere. It's bombarding us with LEDs and computers and laptops and phones and TVs and natural sunlight, and we're not really putting the importance, I think, that we need to protect our eyes even starting at a younger age. So
Right.
that's why I thought it was really important because
Yeah.
as a younger kid, I remember this and it was kind of bizarre and I don't still know why, but when I have light blue eyes and when I would go outside as a child, I used to cry when it was so bright out. And my mom took me to the doctor and they didn't know what it was, but they just said, make sure she wears sunglasses as a little kid. And
Uh-huh.
so I ended up developing a lot of floaters too. And I think, when you look at that, floaters are that vitreous tissue in the eye that starts to clump up the collagen in there. It pulls away from the outer part of the eye and then it casts like a shadow across the eye. And so when you're looking around at bright light or anything like a white surface, you'll see these things kind of just floating across, and it's
Right.
really distracting.
Yeah, it's a super important topic, vision. If we don't have
It is.
that, we can't I mean, I was gonna
Exactly.
say you
Well,
can't see much, but
and
yeah,
some of the things that happen as we get older too is so the when you think about the eye structure,
yeah.
so this is important when you're looking at the certain products and why they chose things like lutein and zeaxanthin and vitamin A and also your omega 3s is because when you're looking at the eye, how it works is the retina works through rods and cones when the light is exposed to them. And so that's
Right.
how we get our vision. So what's at the center of the retina is the macula. And that's the point that actually is responsible for sharp central vision. So that's for when we're threading a needle or trying to visualize somebody's face or read. And that's what some of the issues start to creep up as we age, because this is what's most sensitive and what is most, uh, I'll say, influenced by the free radicals and the reactive oxidative species in
Right.
the eyes and from the UV light and whatnot that start damaging and breaking it down, because then we start losing that central vision and we
Yeah.
start losing peripheral, and then we start having there are these like black dots that start forming in the middle of our vision. So we need to really start working on this younger so we can prevent those
Right.
things, hopefully, as we age.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good intro. Thanks for introing, the topic of today and Carlson Labs and the history behind the company there. And yeah, it's super important. And what we're going to highlight here is products that feature research ingredients, antioxidants, and key nutrients that promote healthy vision and eye function. Obviously, these are just like cherries on top of an
Mhm.
overall eye focused lifestyle, plant
Right.
rich diet with antioxidants and beta carotene and getting all that in the nutrition plan, but also movement, hydration, all these types of things go into eye health. And then we're just going to suggest some ideas here that you can add in to potentially boost that process and help move it along forward, right? So, what would be a good
Exactly.
starting point? I'll do a screen share here in a moment of the family of eye health vitamins, but starting off, if someone's coming to Carlson Labs and wanting to pick one thing to get started with to start promoting eye health.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, you really want to think about DHA. So that is one of the components within um, the omega 3s, and that is because 60% of the retina is DHA, and that works with the balancing inflammation and also moisturizing the eyes as
Mm,
well. So it's really important that we have a good formula of higher potency with DHA with our omega-3s specifically. So
Yeah.
any of these products are phenomenal. The EcoSmart DHA has 500 milligrams. The Elite DHA, which is the liquid, has 2,270 milligrams. So you can use that for anybody that has some real severe eye
Yeah.
issues going on. As well as the Elite DHA has 1,000 milligrams in one soft gel. So it's not just for eye health. Obviously, this is going to help
Yes.
out cognitively and everything else that goes along with DHA. But these are some of the specific ones that have higher amounts of DHA in there for focusing on the retina health.
Amazing. Yeah, like you said, it's not just vision, but cognitive function, mood, brain health,
Mood,
mental
brain,
health, emotional
exactly,
health, right? Joints as well, and much
exactly.
more. So I'll pull up the Elite DHA just for to look at least one of them to see the back of it, and then the Norwegian fish oil concentrate, the award winner. Tell us about this one, and I mean, where is it coming from? This is So I want to read here a real
So,
quick snippet. To ensure maximum freshness, Carlson Elite DHA is closely managed from seed to store, and it's tested by an FDA registered lab for freshness, potency, and purity. It's bottled at Carlson Healthy Oils. This is an eco friendly modern facility off the coast of Norway. Tell us about this process a little bit. It's interesting. Is that what's behind you there in the picture?
this is Norway.
That's
Yes,
Norway.
behind me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So the sourcing of the cold water fish there and they hold it there in the tanks and then they process it all there as well as testing for purity,
Hmm.
potency, rancidity,
Right.
all different contaminants in there as well. They also nitrogen flush it too before they put the oil in as well as then cap it off with nitrogen on the top. And they have as you can see here, I believe it says, yep, it's an antioxidant blend of mixed tocopherols that's added in there. So light heat and air will ex when it's exposed to the oils, it will start to degrade them. So that's why we go through an extensive process and have a darker bottle too. Not only do we test it there, but we then send it out for third-party testing. As you see on the back, there's IFAS labeling, and that's the third-party testing that we do. So the majority of what we do with our products is we make sure that we have high quality products as well as the testing procedures, which are really expensive tests to do. And we think that that's important. That's an important place to put our funds. So,
Yeah. No, amazing. Thanks for breaking that down again. Award-winning natural orange flavor, wild caught, sustainably sourced, and it comes from a mix of anchovy, sardine, mackerel. Is that correct? Yeah, that's
yes.
down here. It looks like it says it
Mm-hmm.
right on the
Yeah.
bottle. And this is a typical starting point: 1 teaspoonful daily at mealtime. Always work with your doctor. Run this by them if you're following a protocol with other supplements or medications. We're just trying to at least put some of this on your radar, right, Laurel?
Exactly. Yes.
So
Yes.
three different options for DHA, and some people might have only thought it was for brain health. So it's a good time to highlight how versatile DHA is, right? So we have again the elite DHA gems, which are 1,000 or 1 gram per serving, while the elite DHA is 2.27 grams, and then we have the half a gram or 500 milligram Eco Smart DHA. What else would be nice to combine potentially with this? You and I, before we went on today, we talked about lutein a little bit. Do you want to maybe highlight lutein and what role
Sure.
this one can play?
Sure. Sure. So we in all of our products too, we use Lutamax and lutein is what is predominantly found in the retina. Okay, you find lutein in the retina mainly and zeaxanthin, which is typically from marigolds, which is
Yeah,
yellow, which is interesting because the center is yellowish with the macula. So they both help out with pigmentation, and they also are antioxidants that are carotenoids that work to filter and block the harmful UV and blue light rays that we get. So it helps out with antioxidant protection and the free radical damage that would be put onto the retina or the macula from the blue light or sunlight or anything else that it's
right.
exposed to. And so you'll see on here too, if you do the next
Okay.
little arrow, it talks about Lutamax. So all
Yeah.
of ours that we have that lutein, we use this Lutamax 2020. It's a trademarked version, actually, it is a combination of three carotenoids, which is lutein, zeaxanthin, and mesozeaxanthin. And it's clinically proven to support eye health by filtering high energy blue light from digital devices, and that's from also from indoor and outdoor light.
Yeah.
And it's actually been shown to help out with eye strain, decreasing eye strain, supporting glare tolerance. So that's
Interesting.
nighttime as well as screen glares,
Yeah.
and protecting against oxidative stress and promoting macular health. So it's really crucial, this one ingredient alone. I think it's a phenomenal one that we use in all the different combos that we have that have lutein in there. And
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, amazing. And again, lutein, zeaxanthin, they're carotenoids. Okay, they're found in the fruits and veg, especially the yellow, red ones, the orange ones as well, like sweet potatoes, yams, egg
green.
yolks are a
Hmm.
rich source as well. Anything that's orangish, yellow, red.
Hmm.
But good luck trying to get this amount, right? Only from food
Right.
every single day, right? Tell us
Mhm.
about the value then of potentially adding this in on top of a diet that's already rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, because it's not easy to get this amount, correct? Just from food alone?
Exactly. And so again, we have various different amounts offered. And like you said, first and foremost, you want to go get your eye exams, and you want to do it through diet as much as possible with your green leafies and your reds and yellows and oranges and purples, as well as protecting the eyes with the sunglasses and those blue light blockers and hats and things like
Right.
that. So doing that and then adding this in on top of it, because typically, you want to get some of the standard amounts that they're looking at through research, even though there isn't really a standard amount. This is just based off of research. They are saying about 20 milligrams of lutein and 4 milligrams of zeaxanthin. So just this is a great starting out amount
Right.
that you could give, to kids, or if you're just starting to see some health issues. But if you are having more severe issues creeping up, you want to get yourself more towards that 20 milligrams of lutein and 4 of zeaxanthin, which we do have in other formulations. But this is a great starting out point because, as you said, a lot of these supplements that we have, or in general, people have, you can't eat enough
Yeah.
to equal what you would get from there. That's why they're supplements. So they're there to supplement in, especially if the diet isn't meeting what you need with
Right.
those
And I
colors.
pulled up an example of how to hit these numbers with food. You can get it from cooked spinach, a cup of green peas, there's orange bell peppers, but you have to have this consistently in the diet. People barely eat fruits and vegetables that I
Right.
see. I mean, vegetables
Right.
more so, but consistency over time. Two egg yolks, for example, will give you about zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.6 milligrams of lutein, and you can see this gives you six in just one soft gel. So you'd have to eat a
Quite a few.
substantial amount of egg yolks, for example. But you could do it if you got green peas, eggs, spinach, kale, all across the diet, bell peppers. It's doable. It's got to be consistent, but this helps fill in the bases, right?
Right.
So
Right.
DHA and lutein might be a good starting point. Always work with your naturopath. Maybe you can bring this across their desk, or doctor that you're working with. Um, Anything else that you wanted to highlight? There's the Moistur-Eyes formula. So this is maybe one we can finish off on here in the last
Right.
5 to 7 minutes. That will round out our trifecta for the day.
Yeah.
So tell us about Moistur-Eyes, the formula from Carlson Labs.
Well, a couple things I just want to say first about this is, when what they're seeing now with people that are on the devices a lot more is
Yeah,
they're not blinking as much. They're
right.
staring at the screens, and they're having eye strain and eye dryness, blurred vision, headaches. So they're saying this 20-20-20 rule, which I don't know if you've heard of, but you're taking every 20 minutes a break, looking up away from whatever device it is,
Yeah,
looking 20 feet away for 20 seconds, because it's making the eye try to track and focus away. And I did this myself, and sometimes it was a lot slower that I was actually able to focus and come back. So doing something like that, adjusting brightness and using the blue light filters as we talked about. But also as we age too, that's one of the things that starts happening as well. Eye dryness that starts happening, as well as sensitivity and lowness, the low dimness in the nighttime that
Right.
the eyes can't adjust, or driving, the glare tolerance starts to be an issue, and colors. So this Moistur-Eyes is great because it has your vitamin A in there that helps out with dim lighting and night vision. It also has C and E in there as antioxidants and helping out with collagen building as well.
Yeah.
Zinc, another antioxidant, and also EPA and DHA. So it's got those omega 3s that you need in there, and the DHA specifically. And then in addition is borage oil from GLA. So that
Right.
all helps together to promote eye health and moisture, and also helping out with the tear film,
Yeah.
creating that. So whether it's for someone who's aging or people that are on devices too much, that's a great product to use to help out with eye dryness.
Amazing. You can see it's a more comprehensive formula. It's almost like a multivitamin, multi-mineral a little bit there.
Exactly.
There's some key ones in there. One, two, there's about 7 vitamins and minerals in there total with the borage oil and the fish oil concentrate from Norway that we were discussing. Same type of fish oil across all the different product lines, Laurel?
Yes, yes. Same fish oil. Yes. Hmm.
Got it. And this is suggested at 3 soft gels a day with a meal, but
Yes.
you could space that out. I like when people space out supplements and you get different peaks throughout the day instead of just
Right.
one huge peak and then nothing for the rest of the day. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree, but the fat soluble ones like vitamins A, D, E, K,
Yeah,
your omegas, they will stay, in the body longer,
sure.
and also stored in the liver more so. So, but the rest of them, yeah, if it was a beta carotene, which is water soluble, or your vitamin C, those are and B's get used up and need to be repleted throughout the day.
Good
So
point. So make sure you
taking
have it with
one,
a meal or a snack, like with some
yes,
healthy fats in there to help the absorption. Um,
exactly.
Perfect. So, yeah, very important episode. We highlighted the Moistur-Eyes formula, the DHA options through Carlson Labs, even lutein and some food sources of it, and what to make sure you're including in the diet. Even eye exercises are super important and underutilized. We have some good research in eye health journals published data on the benefits of eye movements or eye training, right, to help people gain their
Exactly.
vision back. But I want to end off maybe on blue light. You've mentioned it several times in this interview. From your perspective, or someone that's heard of blue light but they don't know exactly what's going on there, why it might be bad for the vision, can you tell us a little bit more about blue light and the problem there?
Yeah, so this specifically is found in a lot of different devices, and as I said, it's also in the environment as natural part of the sun's light. So this causes disruption, and one of the things that they were seeing that was really they thought was a big disruption was too much blue light and sleep and lack of sleep. And there actually was a newer review that was just looked at in 2026, and they were looking at this and saying that maybe it's not as bad as they thought. They did find that when they were looking across 11 different studies, that the sleep was only decreased by about 9 minutes, not as bad as what they thought. But what they looked at more so was it's important for people to have their internal clock, their rhythm balanced more so by going out during the daytime for a walk for at least 30 minutes of natural light.
Yeah.
So taking off any sunlight to expose the eyes to that, or right before the sun sets to get some of that natural light. And then your body creates that better rhythm with the darkness and the lightness. And also, what they thought in addition to that was, is it maybe it wasn't so much the blue light specifically for sleep as it was whatever the people were looking at or watching that was
Mm,
stimulating the
interesting.
brain
Right.
to keep going.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it does decrease with the sleep a little bit, and it does damage the eyes. So we do need the blockers or the screens that are the screen protectors, but it also affects sleep, and then
Right.
maybe not as bad as we thought as far as the sleep, but it's more so what we're watching or listening to.
Right.
It's stimulating. So,
Interesting. Well, especially the time of the day that we're exposing ourselves to blue
right,
light, right? Where it's
right,
supposed to be after sunset, we're winding down. We're not around
exactly.
bright lights everywhere, but like during the day, it's normal to be around blue light. It's not affecting the circadian rhythm necessarily
Right.
as it would be to being exposed like right before bed. at night.
We're pushing the
So,
pushing the time clock like the farmers used to
right.
have. We go back to that.
Yeah. All right. So, what's a good set of resources or one resource that people can follow up on after this interview to stay in the loop? Maybe carlsonlabs.com or anything else on your radar?
Yes, we do. We do have, well, you can go to carlsonlabs.com. We have a lot of different blogs and we have also a YouTube channel where we have videos where you can get a snippet from a minute to 2 minutes where we talk about things like this and a lot of other, and also our Instagram or Facebook channels as well. So any of that would have a lot of this information and so much more on there too.
Laurel, I appreciate you coming on for episode 268. Have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you
Thank you.
too. Thank you.